more of this Christmas tirade here, and my squeeze of the week is that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is one of the worst lessons that we could ever teach a child, and one of the worst movies that's ever been made. I'm being dead serious because you think about the cultural impact and
that
how every single child.
Velocipaster.
Yeah, because how many people have watched Velocipaster? All right, and then how many people have watched
It's not about
Rudolph?
how many people have watched it. It's about whether or not it's one of the worst.
That. It is about that because how many people have watched it means how many people have been influenced. How many people have been influenced by the message of Rudolph? It's a terrible message. I touched on this a little bit ago by calling Santa a dick, and I'm going to double down on that and say that Rudolph, this whole story of it, is just teaching complete opposites of every single morals we want to instill in a kid. First of all, even the song itself. Rudolph was only loved once his differences was proved to be valuable. That was it. As soon as it was okay, then
once it was exploitable.
Then how the reindeer loved him. Then they shouted out with glee. Beforehand, he was a social pariah. Beforehand, he was pushed aside as a freak. He was a freak, which moves me into my next topic. Donner is deeply ashamed of his son. From the very first second that you see Rudolph come out of there, the very first thing he does, witnessing this, he jolts back in fear. All right, and he decides that he's so shameful, he has to be hidden away from everybody else. You know what Donner's number one solution for all of this was? Covered up with dirt. So for the first 15 minutes of the movie, Rudolph was talking like this, and you had no idea what was going on because he couldn't breathe. The poor kid couldn't breathe.
I thought Donner's number one response was to get lost in the mountains and have to eat one another.
Sure. I mean, that seems that could be it. But, so then he decides to leave. And who else does he meet? Somebody else who is just getting shunned and pushed away. The obviously extraordinarily effeminate gay dude who wants to be a dentist. All right. And so, but why would a dentist be shunned? All they eat is candy. You'd think, I know that your job as an elf is supposed to be to make toys, but when your entire diet consists of candy and sugar, you're going to need a dentist.
Seems like a dentist is a good dude to have around, yeah.
You're going to need a dentist.
That's poor management on Santa Claus's part. That's poor management.
So, I mean, Santa Claus, I've even skipped over him. I'll double back. Santa Claus is a joke in this movie. The poor dude is just dying of ungodly anxiety, just knowing that every single day he's counting down until the one night that he has to serve. And even when this was made, it was like 1.92 billion kids in the world. All right, now it's got way more. So imagine what this poor guy looks like now. All right, but that doesn't negate the fact that he treated Rudolph like absolute shit. Rudolph comes up and he's in the first reindeer practice. He's going around just soaring out. Everybody's like, yeah. And then what happens? His nose falls off and it shows his disgusting deformity. Even Santa looks at Donner and says, he should be ashamed of himself.
I forgot about that.
Are you kidding me? So now back to the dentist.
Damn you,
all right, so the dentist goes off. The dentist goes off, and he's on his own journey, and they come up against the Bumble, the abominable Stillman.
Right, Yukon Cornelius. Wait a second.
I got no problems with Yukon. All right, I got no problems with Yukon. We're gonna skip over him.
He's a good guy. Good guy.
We're good with Yukon here on the Juice Boys show.
Yeah, he's a good character.
Mr. Cornelius, we applaud.
So I appreciate the idea. Of, knocking the boulder onto the Bumble, knocking him out. But what just completely irks me is that why do you have to pull out all of his teeth?
That wasn't, so they didn't eat him, so he didn't wake up and get eaten.
Okay, so if you're going to do that, then why did Yukon Cornelius push him off the cliff? If pulling out his teeth rendered him useless, then what was the point of killing him after that? That was ruthless. That was mean. All right. So if you're going to say that
you don't like
old-fashioned murder,
but if something that was going to make this guy bad then takes him away, and then he's like, "Oh God, my teeth!" And then Yukon's like, "I'm going to kill you," and then out of nowhere, he's back.
Vivid retelling.
Then out of nowhere, he's just back at the end, and he's okay. All right.
To put the star on the tree.
Then, my last little bit for this, I think, was one of the most horrifically weird things was the Island of Misfit Toys. All right, they go there and they're all broken, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is sad." It's supposed to be like, don't toss out your broken toys? What was wrong with Dolly the doll? Only thing was wrong with Dolly the doll was she was depressed. All right, and so so we're supposed to be teaching kids that if you're sad and you're depressed, it's to be shunned and to be pushed away. No one wants to hear your feelings. No one wants to hug you. I mean, it's just like, that's not doing anything. And then King Moonracer, how was he the king of the Island of Misfit Toys? That's one of the most badass toys I've ever seen in my life. A lion with wings. I mean,
is he a good guy or a bad guy then for the housing of?
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's giving them a place.
Do like race.
He's giving them a good place. But if all that's said and done, when it all comes down to it, Santa is in an unbelievable crisis. He's about to die, knowing that he is going to ruin Christmas. And then, oh my God, who can we call on? The Freak. All right, and so bring in the Freak that we've shunned for every single thing else that we've done. We pushed him away. Here he comes. Now he comes to save the day. Donner is the hero because he's his great dad. And then how the reindeer loved him, and as they shouted out with glee, yippee! Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. What if he said no? Then all of Christmas would be ruined, and he would just be like, up yours. That's what I would have done.
He'd be the bad guy of it.
He'd also go down in history as the only reindeer with a spine.
Would have done that. So, I hate it. Rudolph, bad.
Are those typed notes that I just saw?
Yeah, that was impressive. That was like a page and a half.
Yeah. I thought about this for a long time.